Hello everybody and welcome on board this Fairline Targa 40 for a look around her cockpit and interior in detail to give you an idea of what's fitted, where it's located and if she might be the boat for you. So as you can see, we're in the cockpit and I'll just take you a couple of steps back towards the stern of the boat. If you just look down, we can see that we've got just a couple of nice companionway steps up into the cockpit. By my feet here, we've got the exit hatch for the passerelle, all nicely stowed away, and we've got a step here up to the side deck down there, and that's where we would be going inside the guardrails. And we do have a couple of handrails up there as well to help us along, but that's in another video. To the inboard side of this companionway, we have a nice cockpit locker for all your bits and pieces, and even nicer, as we just look to our left, we can see we've got a really lovely large sunbed facing aft. Nice grab rail on the inboard side here, loads and loads of room, nice and long. In fact, the grab rail goes all the way across here. The upholstery looks good to me as well, and if we want to, we can rearrange it slightly. We can move this forwards and have this as a nice reclining seat, make it even nicer and longer. Very nice indeed, very well thought out. The final companionway step here lifts up, and this gives us access to the engine room underway. There we go, so we can get down and have a wriggle around and just do our basic checks underway, or if we want to work down here, this is another way of getting in. We have a tank there on the outboard side, a fuel tank, lots of access to the bilge. We can just see the generator to centre line here, and to the left after that we've got both of the engines sat in there, and it is quite a nice tidy clean engine room, which is lovely to see. So I'll close the door on that, no problem. And of course the whole of this hatch garage does open to allow better access to the engines, but we'll do that in another video. We got a nice companionway door here, which will just hinge close and keep the pets and the children inside, hopefully. But let's go further and delve deeper into the cockpit. As you can see, we've got a really lovely white bright area, lots of lovely windows, and let's start at the top with those windows. You can see we've got a lovely great big cockpit tent that goes all the way around and encloses us. That keeps the heat in, or it keeps the heat out on a really sunny day when they're opened up. And we can configure this in various ways to allow the breeze through our hair when we're at sea, etc. But looks like it's in really good shape to me, and we've got lovely great big windows, not only in the tent itself but also around the helm, so we do have a really good view all the way around, especially out of the stern. So underway, really good for what's keeping at sea, the Regs Rule 5, I believe it is. And there's a companionway out, and you can see just how nice and easy it is to get through. Lovely teak on the floor too. But let's carry on without trying to make you dizzy as I turn around, looking at the rest of the cockpit. So you can see here we've got a U-shaped seating here, very nice indeed. We've got a nice cockpit table here, which we can have folded in half with cup holders there, or if you want to, we can open it out completely like that for a much greater picnic area. Looks lovely, nice light upholstery, looks in good shape too to me. And if I just close that down again to give us a bit more space, you can see that on the starboard side of here we've got a nice bar unit, so we've got a work surface here. Underneath we've got a sink and a griddle unit there too, and inset here too we have a cockpit locker for all your bits and pieces, and a nice fridge for the cockpit too, so that'll keep you all your cold drinks cold whilst you're up here. Really nice, great, feels good, and I'd be very proud to be up here. But let's continue the tour. So moving forwards, we've got the helm position on the right hand side. Lovely comfortable looking helm seat with the bolster that raises as well, so you can stand and steer if you want to. We've got the Fairline motif embossed all over the place on this boat too, which is lovely, but nice wraparound seat, looks very comfortable. If we start from the bottom and work our way up, down here we can see we've got extinguishers, we've got various safety items here. We've got a VHF just here, we've got water tank contents, switches. On the right hand side here we can see we've got the EVC controls, very nice, so flying by wire with the Volvo Pentas. The twin throttles there, the bow thruster control, nice feature steering wheel, and you can see we've got fuel tank contents indicators, we've got leg angles, we've got steering angle indicator, etc, along with the engine keys, or the key holes. As you can see under here, we've got a nice chart plotter sitting there just in the right, just right for the helm. We've got the autopilot here, and nestled under here we've got depth and speed too. All really rather lovely. Moving forward slightly, we've got more electrical switches, again within reasonable distance of the helm, and we've also got a nice little nav station for those of you that do continue with your paper charts, and I always recommend we do, but that would be up to you. And then underneath we've got storage for dividers, rubbers, or maybe these days more like mobile phone chargers and sunglasses, etc. But it's there for you if you would like to use it, so no worries at all. Forward of that we have the compass, and then we have some engine instruments which are quite a long way from the helm actually, so you need to lean forward and see them if you want any kind of accuracy, but you'd be able to see the red needles there on the tachos, no worries there, engine hours counters. And if you have a look at these ones here, you can see we've got battery voltage, lube oil pressure, and coolant temperature as well there, no worries at all. Hatch there giving us light and air down to the main saloon area, which we'll see very shortly. We've got some more cup holders on the port hand side here, a window for light down below, and we've also got another little cockpit locker there as well for all the bits and pieces that you would have in the cockpit, your suntan lotion, etc, etc. So there we go, there's the final bit of seating on the cockpit, so nice L-shaped seating, and we can recline there if we want to. Upholstery looks nice, and generally speaking, I think sitting here facing forwards, chatting happily to the helm, you will have a very, very nice existence indeed. And there's a final view again. So that was the cockpit, lovely and easy to get around. The companionways are nice and wide, plenty of room to spread out, plenty of room for seating, entertaining, enjoying yourself, and generally lording it over the neighbours, which I know everybody enjoys doing. But let's take a look down below, shall we? And as we go down below, we can see we've got a nice plexiglass cover there, which slides open and closed really easily, and that slides away into its housing out of the way, so we're not going to that won't get into the way. And then when we go down, it's a very nice, easy to traverse companionway, and we find ourselves inside here. What a beautiful, lovely interior it is. So let's delve deep and see what we can see. So we'll just turn to our starboard, or we'll turn aft first and have a little look. So we have a nice cupboard inset into the companionway there. Storage is well thought of in this boat, or well thought about. 4 or 5 steps down into the companionway, and it's kind of multi-directional as well, so really, really nice, dead nice and easy to get to, nice and easy to clean. And then on the starboard side, once we're down, we're into the galley. So there's a view of the galley. So generally speaking, we have cupboard, big fridge, cupboards, drawers, and a cooker there, no problem at all. Nice work surface. The dehumidifier, always sign of a good attentive, caring owner, I say, sitting on the hob there, just merrily doing its thing, although it's not plugged in at the moment. We have 2 sinks here, so easy to wash up. We have a little TV set in there above, which is very nice, and along both sides in this saloon we have nice cupboards here, lots of stowage, and windows as well, so lovely view there through down to the water. Just gives us that feeling of being on the water, because that's where we are. Nice draining surface here, which could also be a chopping area, etc, etc. We have the main electrics panel here, we've got generator controls here, we've got the stereo nestling in the corner there, and a bit of aircon controls there. So generally speaking, very nice area, nice and easy to stand there. It's kind of linear around a curve, but once you're in, you can cook away here. People can come past you backwards and forwards without bumping into you, and yeah, looks great too. As we come down, just to note, we've got a handle here to hold on to. We can then transfer our weight if we're going forwards along this handle here, and just to help us forwards in a bit of a bumpy sea. And there's the underside of the hatch that I showed you earlier on, and we have a nice blind here as well to give you a bit of darkness at night should you need it. Very nice indeed. So let's carry on along the starboard side, and you can see we've got this very nice soft bulkhead. And then we come to a really, really lovely shiny wooden door here, and that reveals the heads. There we go. So once we're in here, we can see on the right hand side a full height shower unit with a nice shower cubicle that closes to keep everything in, so you can have a proper shower on this boat. No compromises there. Around to the starboard side, we've got looks like the electrical head to me. We've got a window that opens, great in a heads compartment. We've got a bit of work surface and a sink inset into there with, I think, cupboards behind and possibly a drawer behind as well, but certainly we do have a cupboard underneath. But plenty of room in here, really good head height, and does everything that you would need it to on a boat like this. And we do have a Jack and Jill door, which I'll show you from this side. So that means that we can enter the door from the saloon without bothering the occupants of the forward cabin, or if we want to enter from the forward cabin without people in the saloon knowing you're going in and out of the toilet, we can do that as well. So works really, really well. Jack and Jill it's called. So let's close the door on the heads. There we go, and we'll move into the forward cabin, which is a lovely pièce de résistance to this boat. As you can see, we've got a massive, great big bed here. We've got access to climb up via a step, and we've got the padded sides there onto the bed without crawling over anybody. We've got 2 opening windows down here, I think, and a little bit of stowage there, inset with more stowage along the bulkheads there. Very nice indeed. Nice headlining as well. We've got recessed spotlighting. There's the door to the head, so we can get in and out of there from this cabin. And once the door's closed there, you can see we've got a little bit of changing space as well. We could sit on that step and change if we wanted. So nice area. This boat smells great throughout, and she looks nice and clean throughout, which I really, really like. Port side, very similar to starboard, if not the same, except instead of the door to the heads, we've got the door to the cupboard here. There we go, so a nice wardrobe there. And on the after bulkhead here, you can see we have a nice mirror with a little bit of a shelf there. In fact, it's a full-length mirror, so you can see yourself from top to toe, which is great. And there's a step up to the port side of the berth. Just there, or maybe possibly a little seat. Again, we have a hatch above the berth, so we can close that off with a blind if we want to. There's a fly screen there at the moment. I think there's probably a proper blind there too, and we may well find there's storage underneath this berth as well. Lovely job. So let's just look through to the main saloon from this berth. So there we go, that's the step through. You can see the companionway in front of you, you can see the access to the aft cabin on the right hand side there. But if we step through and look at the right hand side here, we can see we've got really nice U-shaped seating, lovely saloon table there with lots of cup holders, etc. Let me just tidy up the mats. There we go. And we can see that we've got nice upholstery, some storage underneath as well, cupboards behind, and a shelf with a glass of stowage on there. We've got some nice shiny bear gel in here, but we've got some nice vinyl covering in there as well, so feeling really, really nice. And lovely tall headroom too, very nice. Carpeted down here, although we've got a rug on top. We do have a couple of portable bikes in the way, which I didn't move. And underneath here we have got access to the bilge. There's quite a large area under there, which I would have thought would have been given over to stowage, but you can see the bilge directly down there, so great for checking for any water ingress, etc. And then down, or along, not down, into the aft cabin. So we're through this door into the compartment. On the right hand side we have a nice work surface. We have some kind of bread maker or air fryer or something there, and some food stowage. A couple of cupboards up top, cupboard underneath too, and a nice seating area on the port side here, right next to an opening window, and more shelves there. And if I just take a seat, we can see we've got a lovely great big wardrobe here with a mirrored finish, so we can see everything, including my knobbly knees. And if we just look along the starboard side from the port side, we've got the athwartships twin cabin. Very nice. Now we do have limited headroom over here because of the mouldings above in the cockpit, but actually I think there's plenty of room for both occupants in here to sit and read in bed, or lie and read in bed, whatever you'd like to do in comfort. We've got a nice padding around, we've got a nice opening window to starboard as well, a nice opening window out into the cockpit too, all with curtains, and all feeling really, really nice and clean. And I think this would be a great place to spend for the weekend, or even longer, an even better place to lock the kids up while you have fun. But that would be just me. But yeah, very nice indeed. So let's stand up, and again there's pretty good headroom in here, though I did just knock my head on the combing. But very nice place to be. So we'll sum up this tour by saying thanks for joining Tim from Boatshed Yacht Brokers on this lovely Fairline Targa 40. For lots more pictures, videos and virtual reality, go to boatshedbrighton.com. Thanks for watching.